very great way to come back from the international break and a good way to return back to the summit of La Liga. 3 points ahead of Real Madrid, who had drawn level with them with their win over Celta yesterday. This is how things will be looking now heading into El Clasico. As for Sevilla, there had been something of an uptick in fortunes in their games of late. Well, they've lost this one to Barcelona, but not to worry too much. They'd not won away to Barcelona in La Liga since 2002. However, the talk is all about Barcelona and the big week ahead. And it's a good game and a good showing from them for what is a decisive week, Ale.
As perfect a setup match as you could have if you're Hansi Flick and Barcelona. You put this game beyond doubt very early on to the point to where now you can make substitutions. And so Rafinha can come off the field and Lewandowski can come off the field. And the performances from both of them were productive. Rafinha continues to be a critical part to this team's success. And the reality of a player that has changed so much from 3-4 months ago, where he was in Barcelona, where there was conversation that he wasn't going to be at Barcelona, and people were actually pushing him out the door. And now he's the captain of this team. He's captain of Brazil. It's amazing how quickly things change in the world of football. The other thing I would say about Barcelona is we were concerned as to what their reality would be in the midfield with the injury to Eric Garcia. What happens with Ansu Fati coming in? Who's going to drop in? Are they going to be challenged by the possession of Sevilla? And Sevilla, we asked the question, can they be like Barcelona, against Barcelona, in Barcelona? And the answer is no, señor. No, they cannot. They tried it and it didn't work. And so Barcelona just passed them to death. But whenever they got in positions in which they could go forward, and I think this is the difference of this version of Barcelona, they threatened in behind, they threatened with Lamine Yamal, they got out in transition with Rafinha and Lamine Yamal. Lewandowski was there to score goals. It was a complete performance for Barcelona. And by the way, full disclosure, Gemma Soler in the pregame said that they would win 4-1. I said, that's a bit much. It's going to be tighter. Turns out that both of us were wrong. See, Gemma was wrong too because it was 5-1, and I was way wrong because I thought the result would be a whole lot shorter, a whole lot tighter. Regardless, it was a really dominant performance from Barcelona.
Yes, she was close there, but not quite there
in fact, in The Price is Right, she would be wrong because she was over.
Robert Lewandowski back on the score sheet once again. Obviously had a hat-trick before the international break. Got in with a couple of goals on Sunday as well. And when it comes to most goals scored all time among Europe's top 5 leagues, he's third behind only Lionel Messi with 496 and Cristiano Ronaldo with 495. Lewandowski has 366 ahead of Jimmy Greaves and Gerd Muller at this stage. Wonderful figures from Robert Lewandowski and just a perfect start as well for Barcelona to a big week ahead of them. Lewandowski as well delivering this season. There were questions about him coming into the new season and he surpassed all expectations.
Yeah, Hansi Flick couldn't have wished for a more informed Lewandowski. Certainly for the start of the season, and obviously hopes that the whole season will continue. And the goal from Rafinha's shot is just a classic goal scorer, centre forward / a guy who knows where he should be in the penalty box. That goal was just smelt of a proper number 9, and that's what he is, proper number 9.
Just that little twist, Ale, just being able to put that foot out.
Wait. Are you going to give us a little twist
No,
again?
that's the extent of my twist.
Twist with your shoulders.
A little twist and shout. Yeah, from Robert Lewandowski, and much like Rafinha, I don't think we could have seen this coming. The trend for Lewandowski going back to last season was going in the other direction, was going in the wrong direction. And so it was more wishful and hopeful thinking that he would be at this sort of form, producing at this sort of rate. And yet, whether it's the change in manager, which obviously has played a part, or just the fact that you see life in his legs that we didn't really see last season. You're seeing a level of interest from Robert Lewandowski in his movement away from the ball that we did not see last season. I don't know why those things were happening. There are certain things that we don't know about his relationship with Xavi or how he felt in general about the situation in Barcelona last season. But what we're seeing from him, he's lively. He's on his toes. He is inside the 18-yard box, finishing chances because that's what he has done his whole life. And so he's no stranger to finish his chances there. What I think now we see from Robert Lewandowski is that he's always willing to give you movement inside the 18-yard box, little diagonal movement that people may not notice and make a whole big difference as to why he's able to score a goal or not. So Lewandowski, when he's at this level, he's one of the very best in the world.
I think we have to give a lot of credit to Flick.
Yeah.
And it's not just Lewandowski. This whole team's playing loose. You know, this is the perfect result, and it's stress-free. But they've been playing stress-free, it seems, the whole season. And that's why everybody, you know, the best footballers are footballers who don't think, they just do things naturally. And that's what this team's doing. They're not overthinking it. They're not getting too carried away with tactics. They're going out, they're playing their football, and they're scoring plenty of goals. That's what's happening here.
Yeah, Stevie said those wins looking a lot more comfortable for Barcelona than what we've seen from Real Madrid so far. Obviously, Real Madrid just 3 points behind them in the table, though. That game coming up at the Bernabeu, Real Madrid with a home advantage on Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. What a game it is set to be as well. What are your expectations for it, Ali, given what we've seen so far from both?
And Stevie just mentioned stress-free so far for Barcelona. I think this week for Barcelona is going to be stressful. And it starts with the match against Bayern Munich and all the storylines that go into that match in Champions League because of Hansi Flick, because of their relationship with Bayern Munich, because of the result in Champions League when they play Bayern Munich and they got humiliated, and what that means to the history of Barcelona. And all of these things have played a part into that match. Oh, by the way, there's El Clasico coming up. And so the decisions that Hansi Flick is going to have to make about the personnel that is available to him for the match against Bayern Munich affect what happens on the weekend. And so how do you prepare yourself going into El Clasico? I don't think playing Bayern Munich would be the perfect preparation. And yet that's the situation for Barcelona. And so it becomes a challenge in terms of the preparation ahead of the match. And then the challenge inside the match is going to be, we think of the strength of Real Madrid in that front three, whoever that front three may be. Could even be a front two, because I actually think that gives Real Madrid more balance through the midfield. How defensively, how do Barcelona deal with that front two? Because Barcelona is going to want to have the ball. It's what they do, right? It's who they are. They want to press higher up the field, even if it is a Santiago Bernabeu. And does that open up the transition moments for Real Madrid where they can be really dangerous? If you just allow and force Real Madrid to try to break you down, they haven't proven that they can do that just yet with this group of players. They may in the future, but not yet. And so Hansi Flick and his approach to Bayern Munich will affect his approach to Real Madrid. And in general, it's going to be a stressful week.
We're pulling back the curtain somewhat for the Clasico. Obviously, we'll have the Clasico here on ESPN+, but we'll also have an alternative cast where you can get to see what it's like to watch the game with the likes of Ali Moreno, Dan Thomas, Craig Burley, and more surprise.
A lot of playful moods there.
3 p.m. Eastern, Stevie. You might get roped in. Jurgen Klinsmann might be dropping in to say hi and drop some knowledge as well on what he's seen in the Clasico. It's a great way to watch along. You could have it on another screen while you're watching El Clasico. Make sure to know that this is going on 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+.
What could possibly go wrong?